Alright guys, for your next assignment what you're going to be doing is taking a style sheet template that's been created by somebody on the internet that's free, that they allow you to modify, and you're going to use that template and change one of the things on the SJB website, a particular unit, maybe the math page you don't like and you're going to redo it. Now here's the process you go through. In our sharing folder I've given you a couple dozen of these templates that I found on the internet that I thought were kind of neat, and if you like one of them you can use them. Let's say for instance you like this one called Andreas, and what I'm going to do is go inside of it and I'll show you the original version of it. So what you would do, you would find one of these templates and you would probably just click on index just to get an idea what it looks like, and it would start up some browser and it would give you a decent idea of what it looks like. So this is the basic template. Now I liked this template, and what I did a while ago is I used that and I made the following two websites based on it. Here is one I did when we had our trip to Europe, on the Lord's trip, and you'll see it sort of looks the same. So see how it has that same basic look, and then I of course changed it to what I wanted to do. So isn't that kind of neat? So use that basic template, but then obviously you're going to change it to fit your situation. Here's another one that I did based on that same template. Okay, so there's that same look, but it's for something else. Okay, so it's kind of neat once you find something you really like and then you modify it. Now how do you modify it? Well, what you do is, first of all, when you have this is the real original template, I would probably copy and paste it so that you don't wreck the original. So what I would do is something like this. I would copy it and then paste it, so if I wreck it I can always go back, right? So that's going to be what you're going to work with. Now you go inside and when you look at it, there's not much in here. There's those things.css, that's the stuff I just taught you recently. Those are called style sheets. Don't touch those, okay? You can probably slightly modify them once in a while to change the color scheme, but I mean, those you absolutely need. Don't erase them. In here are some images, and again, those ones come with the entire template, and you might change them later on if you get comfortable with the template. Let's take a look at this file right here. This is only one page, and if you remember, when I showed you this Lourdes one, whoa, I've got all these other pages. Well, they're all based on that one page. And here's what you do to change it or modify it or whatever else. So you go here and you open it up, and the first thing you're going to have to do is figure out exactly how the thing works. Alright, so you're going to have to go inside the code, and you can go into it using Dreamweaver too, but you got to look at the pure code. There's no sneaky way around it this time. You can't chicken out and just use Dreamweaver and not know what you're doing. You have to look at the code. Now most of the time the stuff at the top doesn't matter. What you're going to worry about is this stuff in here that has the word class on it, or this stuff in here with ID and stuff like that. Now preview it for a second and you go, okay, obviously I don't want those words, maybe I don't even want these up here, but like, what if I want to change these words? Where are they? So you look around and you go, welcome, hold it, there's welcome. Bio, oh, I get it. If I want to change that to something else, like what if I want to change that to students? Let me just see what happens when I change that word to students. Hey, there's students there now. Well, that's cool. I'm starting to get it. Okay, now another thing is, when you preview it, notice how that one's like in a dark gray, because we're on that particular page. That's the welcome page. Now what if I wanted students to be dark gray? Well, look what, let's see. As class active. See what it says there? Active tab. Now every particular case is going to be different, so this isn't going to be the only way, but let me just put this to nav tab, and then this one I guess changes to active. Let's see what that does. Hey, look at that. It goes great. So what I'm doing is showing you how you experiment with this to get comfortable with it. Once you get comfortable with it, you're ready to actually start using it. Now you got to realize this is only one page. So this is the welcome page. There is no student page. See how it has there that number sign with no place to go? Well, that's going to change to a page. Now how are you going to make that page? Well, it's going to be basically this exact page, except watch. You're going to go File, Save As, there's Index. Maybe you're going to call this page Students, right? And then you press Save. So now, if you look at this, you've got the Students page. Let's see now, you should have two pages now. If you go to File, Open, you've got Index and Students. Okay, now let me go back to Index. So now when you go to Index, oh, geez, it doesn't say Students on it. Well, what you have to do is you're going to have to change every page. As you go along and do all these pages, you're going to have to change them. So see where it says Bio here? You're going to have to put Students, and now we actually have a link to students.html. Now let's see, let's save that. So you're starting to build it. So here it is now. This is actually the first page, which is, I guess you call the index. If I press this, yeah, it goes to students. See what it did? It turned gray there, and we've got two pages now. And then you keep doing that over and over again. You change the next one. Obviously, you don't want discography or whatever it is there, or downloads or photos or whatever. You change it to whatever you want. So you're actually making all the bits and pieces of the pages. And that's the heart and soul of it. Now, what's all this stuff down here? This is the stuff that you change on the screen. So for instance, let me go to students for a second. If you wanted to write something about students, obviously when you're looking at this, that's all these words here, right? So you got to figure out where they are in the program. So watch, the idea behind the design, so that's right there. So that must be where you write your words. I'm just going to write some junk here just to show you. So this must be the part in the middle. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, so you would rub it out, do whatever you want to write in there, and there is actually a ton. Okay, we're almost at the end. And you would put your own stuff in there. You could put pictures, you put whatever you want. But to me, you've got to do it in raw code. I'm just going to put a bunch of X's just to show you that I found out where it is, and when you preview it, there's your X's. So what you're starting to do is you feel out the design, and then you start to make all the pages. So if you wanted to make another page, you would change a word there, but remember, you'd have to change it on every single one, and then the active tab would change to meet that particular requirement. And that's the basic idea behind all of these templates. All right, now you've got a wide variety to choose from, and you just need to modify them to match your situation. Let me show you a couple of others that I think are kind of cool. So that one I'm going to not say go get out for a second. So you go through any one of these that you like here, all right, and then you obviously have to modify them. This is a really cool one that I used for a dance site that I made. Okay, and I'll just show you. This is what they gave me when I went to a free site and downloaded it, and I looked at it this way, and I'll show you for a sec. Okay, so this is kind of a neat site. It's called an iPhoto, which is kind of neat, and there's a little menu there. And when you press this, it goes to different pages. All right, and then what I did is I modified it to suit my situation, and I'll show you the updated one that I did. Okay, so I modified it. This is a club that teaches dance, jazz, whatever. Okay, and I modified it so it has the same basic look. I changed the background a little bit in the color scheme. Okay, now if you're wondering, well, sir, how do you do that? You didn't show us that. Like, you showed us how to change the code so the menus change, but how do you change the color schemes? Well, that's where you have to go into the style after, all right? And basically you can right-click, and you can start up Top Style Light, or you can do it in Dreamweaver, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do it in Top Style Light for a second. And what you would have to figure out is what all the codes are. Okay, so they've got a bunch of stuff there for pages. All right, there's all kinds of headings. This is where you would change the positions, the color possibly. So you'd have to go into the code. Some of the code you wouldn't touch because we don't know how to do it. But then if you see a color, experiment, change it to something else and see what happens on your screen. Okay, so there's a bunch of different things that you can do. Now, some of them are going to be too complicated for you, I got to admit. And you'll go, you know what, it looks great, but I have no idea how to change it. And then you're going to have to move on. Some of them are very straightforward, so you'll have to pick and choose. And like I said, you got tons of them here to pick from that you could use and would be very nice for you to do. Let me show you another one here. This one here I showed you before is kind of neat. This one's pretty straightforward. Look at it. Just got an index and a style and a couple of images. and it has that look to it. And when I saw that look, I went, you know what, I'm doing a website for somebody that has a cottage up north. This is perfect. And what I did is I took this idea and I modified it to suit that situation. Okay, so all kinds of neat things. Now, you don't like any of these? No problem. Here's what you can do. You can go on the internet, and on the Edmodo site, what I did is I wrote down about half dozen places that are free places that you can get more designs. Let's go to this one for example. Okay, so here's what you do. You go to this site, and they've got all kinds of designs. They've got tons of them. Okay, so this is only a few of them. There's literally hundreds and thousands of them. And let's say you go, you know what, that one looks pretty neat. So you press it. Okay, and then it has usually, not always, but usually it has this thing called preview and download. So if you press preview, it actually even shows you what the site is live. So watch, when I go over it, see those little menus up there? That's kind of cool. Okay, whoa, that's neat. It's kind of like a slideshow thing, and then you can actually press this. I like that. You know what? I want that one. Okay, so here's what you do next. You go back here, and this time you press download. Okay, and you put this somewhere on your computer. Now it's zipped up, and if you forget how to do that, I'll show you in a second. So you press save and you download it to your computer. Now you go to your computer's hard drive. Alright, and if you're at school, obviously it'd be the W drive. I'm doing this at home. So there it is, there's the zip file, and what you do is you have to unzip it. So if you've got WinRAR or you download a WinZip program, if you press that, it'll unzip it. Now when it's unzipped, it makes that folder right there. And inside of there is the stuff for this site. Okay, and it doesn't look too bad. It's got this folder called Images, Library, I don't know what that is, but don't touch it. That's some stuff that it needs, don't get rid of it. License, probably can get rid of. CSS styles, you know what that is. Let's go in here, you right click, and we're going to go into first page, and we'll take a look at the code and see if it looks reasonable to work with. Okay, and again, look at it. You usually have a section where the menu is, and it tells you the files. Okay, and obviously you're going to change those to match whatever you're going to do for your particular situation. There's home, there's blog. I'm going to put something else on this one just to see if it actually changes it. I'm going to write down SJB. Okay, and I'm going to preview. Yeah, it changes it. Okay, it's not bad. And then you keep working with it. Now there's pictures there too. That must be this stuff in here. You know those things that are slider? You know what? I actually like this one a lot. That's that slider stuff. Let's see what that means. So these must be pictures that I can slide through. Now watch. Give it a couple of seconds, I think. Yeah, and there's the arrows there. And it switches. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, and there's only 3 of them. I guess it cycles through 3. Now, where are those pictures? So this is what you start doing. You start investigating. Oh, they're in Images, folder, and then /top. So let me see what that means. See this thing right here, Images? Let's see, where are they? They must be down here somewhere. Give it a couple of seconds to pop up. Okay, there they are. There's your 3 images. Beautiful. So if you wanted to do a little slideshow presentation and you wanted to use this, you'd have to put them in this folder, and then in your content you would modify these 3, and you could add more. So this is just a slider for 3 pictures. You could have 7,000 pictures. This is really cool. Now some other stuff down here, that's where I guess you would put your words. Alright, I'm looking here. So when you move down, they've got words here for different sections. And sometimes you don't want stuff. Like you might not want this bottom part. Alright, so it's up to you. You can get rid of it. You basically look at the code and then cut and paste stuff, and you can't go wrong. Remember, if you delete stuff and it's not what you thought it was, so look at this, is a thing called recent posts. You don't want that, get rid of it. See that whole thing, div? That's a section. Okay, if I get rid of it, and I'm going to, I'll see if I wreck it. Alright, so now some of that stuff that was at the bottom, recent posts, is gone. About us, let's see if I can get that before the time runs out here. About us, where is that? Is that in the footer? Okay, you can just try to figure out where it is and then cut it out. Alright, so there it is right there. So it's this div down here. I'll delete it and preview. Okay, and that's it. About us is gone. And then contact information again. If you don't like it, you get rid of it. And that's basically what you do to work with these. Now you're going to pick a topic that we need to fix on our website and use this idea. Okay, good luck and hope that helped.